Welcome to November in northern Norway, where the weather might be a little bit brisk, but the head of youth development has been in touch and he has his first thoughts emailed over about this year's youth intake, and I think it might be encouraging news. So here is that youth report. As always, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but it does contain those two magical words of golden generation, although we know that Football Manager can play fast and loose with that particular term. But looks like the spine of the team coming through is promising. We've got at least one of our centre-backs looks promising. We've got what looks like a top prospect in the centre of midfield, and top prospects normally come through looking pretty good. And we have a forward that could be considered a fine prospect too, so that's encouraging. And this is a terrific group of players coming through. Could be a real golden generation. So definitely some things to be positive about in there. Some of the negatives I'm not overly concerned about. We don't have any great numbers of players coming through in any single position. As long as we've got one coming through in each, that gives me something to work with. Haven't got any new wing-backs coming through. We haven't got any defensive midfielders coming through in a flat 4-4-2. That's okay. The thing that's a little bit more concerning is maybe what's coming through down the flanks. The full-backs coming up are not the best. That's a worry because we're already playing people out of position in our full-back positions. And then the crop of wide midfielders are not great prospects, and there are a few good wingers coming through. That could be a little bit of a stickier situation because we need reinforcements across the pitch. We're not doing that well at the moment. We qualified for the additional 7 games when the league split. We were top of the table at the time. We have nosedived significantly. We're now down to 3rd, level on points with Hod in 2nd, who qualified for the playoffs, but they've got a game in hand on us. And form since the last episode has really not been that good. We lost 2-1. in the last episode, followed it up with a narrow 2-1 win and a 2-0 victory over Vålerenga's reserves. But then we got absolutely resoundingly beaten. Don't let the scoreline fool you. 1-0 with a late goal for them. They trounced us. They played a tiki-taka brand of football that made us look foolish in our stodgy defensive 4-4-2. We then played Hod, which was an absolutely crucial game, battling it out for that top spot, and we lost that game as well. We got a draw against Eidsvoll. Again, did not look great at all. And then we had the second game against Fredrikstad, and this was even worse than the first. They absolutely pummeled us. It looks like we've recovered, but this was a free kick goal in the 82nd minute, and really, the match stats do not make attractive viewing. Look at the XG for them versus us. They might only have hit the target with one of their shots, but they had 17 of them. We played pretty poorly. So we are very cautious going into our last couple of games. We need to win them both, I think. And we need to hope that maybe Hod drops some points here and there. And that's just to qualify for the playoffs. I think the top spot has well and truly gone. Players are tired, which is a bit concerning because we're only playing a 19-game season and they're really struggling for fitness, as part-time teams can do sometimes, and we've been picking up key injuries as well. So the players are a little bit down. The morale isn't great, but we're going out today to try and just give it one last stab. I think today's game is crucial. If we can win it, then there's a chance of still getting second place and qualifying for that playoff and extending the season even further. Lose it, and I think it could be all over. And if Hod win, well, it definitely will be all over today. But most importantly, regardless of the playoffs, because promotion this season was never really on the cards, what I just want is a bit of fight, a bit of a performance. The strikers have gone woefully off form. Our mate Grunvoll has not scored since way before the last episode. So he is now on an 8-game goalless streak. And his mate up front has not fared an awful lot better either. He's now gone, the last 5 games without getting a goal. Now, without goals in this team, when you're playing this pretty defensive formation, when you don't take the few chances that you have, you're going to be in trouble. We're going to ask them to go out there and impress today and see whether we can perhaps recover a little bit of form. Okay, here we go then. Ravaged, I think, are the team that might be down in 4th place. So I think if we lose this game, they're going to go above us in the table as well. And we really will be finishing that season on a whimper. Oh no, they're down in 5th at the moment. Down in 5th. So we'd still stay above them even if we lose. But we have not been looking good in the last 4 or 5 games, which just makes you worry about life going forward. Although, oh, that is a delicate little chip. Goodness me, that would have been some goal if that had gone in. Good start. Better start than we've had in a while. We've nudged the mentality up to cautious. Normally we start away games with a defensive mentality. Maybe that's helped a little bit. Pretty solid start. We've also had pretty stern chats with both of our strikers in the week, saying we can't persist with them much longer unless they bang in a goal. And they both agreed. Sometimes that little chat can just spark them into life. We only need one of them to come back to goal-scoring ways, and we could be in with a shout. Although that was a little bit of a let-off. Looked like one that they nodded home that was judged offside. Need to get the ball away and counter now. We get the ball away, but we're not countering, are we? And we're settling back into our defensive way of playing then. Just let the other team attack us. We try and head it clear and break on them. And here we go. Pedersen's got a little bit of pace. If he could get past his man. No, wishful thinking. But we got the ball. We're trying not to hit the target man early. We're trying to spread it wide. They're following their instructions. Now we need to get the ball in the box. There we go. And there is Grunwald. Oh, he's had a good chance. Noticed this a few times with the big man. He can't get those shots off fast enough to really trouble the keeper. They all get blocked, charged down. But at least we've shown a little bit more life than we have in the previous 4 or 5 games here. We're actually going forward and attacking a little bit. Not looked terrible in this first half. We've got a bit more defending to do though. What we got, 5 minutes to the break? Do not want to concede on the stroke of half time. I'm quite happy to go in at 0-0. Don't want to go in a goal down, but we're breaking again. Look at this. This is good. We play it to the midfield. Hopefully he'll spread it wide. He has, but it's a poor ball. And Schrute, who I believe is Northern Irish and used to play for Birmingham, if I remember rightly, he's now ended up at Ravaged in the Norwegian 3rd tier. And that is another good chance for them. Goal kick, it wasn't offside. That was a bit of a let-off, and they have nudged ahead in the XG. And having said I'd be pleased with a goalless draw at half-time, the couple of little chances they've had have made me a little bit cautious. Grunwald's playing poorly again. We are going to have to point the finger at them and say, dig deep. Okay, that's not really helped. Let's go attackers, pump the fists. We've got faith. I'm losing my faith in them, if I'm honest. And let's do the unthinkable. Let's nudge it up to a balanced devil-may-care mentality. Because we've got to win. We've got to win the game to have a chance of finishing in that 2nd place. So we may as well go for it. You can't go any more attacking than balanced, I always say. So let's give it a go. We're even going to throw a shout out there and we're going to encourage them. Hopefully that will motivate a few of them. Just look good on the old body language. And we need to just urge them forward a little bit. Don't want to be in a position where I'm having to go with a positive mentality chasing a goal, because that leaves us a little bit frail and a little bit open. I'd rather just steal a 1-goal lead and then go defensive. That is not going to happen. Now we are chasing the game. This is what happens when you go devil may care and start playing with a balanced mentality. It comes back to bite you. The back line let you down again. So we're going to go with 2 attacking wingers now. We're going to push some fullbacks on to try and give some support down the flanks. 1 goal is not going to be anywhere near enough. We're going to need 2. Otherwise, we are in trouble. And as good a season as this has been, I am conscious of the fact that we've shown you defeat after defeat and heading towards another defeat so far. Not the best of games to bring you. And we're now going to have to give them a bit more of a encouraging tour. We're going to go fire them up. We can get a goal back early. It's not all over, but we're not great at coming back once we have conceded a goal. And I am pinning a lot of hopes on this youth intake that are coming through at February. Need something there to work with, a little bit of fresh blood. Because remember what happened at Kettering. We had a pretty encouraging first season there as well. We were 2 points, if I remember, off finishing in those playoff positions. And we've had a good first season here, but it's finishing with an absolute whimper as Mohammed Ian Elkington doubles their lead. And we're not even losing to the good teams now. We're just losing to all of the teams. That's poorly defended. And we really are in a little bit of trouble. I don't think there's any need to be on the old extended highlights anymore. We are out of this game. We're going to try and go attacking, but it's not working, is it? We got Loveland. We're looking at 3 goals late on. Dodgy keeper punches it and still they get to break. And we are slow. We are tired. We're going to make a raft of substitutions now, but we are getting picked apart a little bit. Trouble with these substitutions is that they bring fresh legs on, but often players that are playing out of position. Both of those strikers have been terrible again. They didn't heed any kind of warning. And we may as well bring some of the youth players on. God, he's on a 6. The right back's on a 6 as well. Ooh. Poor performances. One of the other problems that I attribute our little run of form to is a lot of our players have got that little personality trait of either dreading or not relishing big games. And I think once you get into this league split and you're going for promotion, it counts them all as big games and they have not performed, not turned up, not even doing their defensive work properly. The closing down's not there. Look how slow they are to the ball. Wasn't like this earlier on in the season. There was a tenacity to the play that has gone missing. And I think this is the end of our season now. We're in the 89th minute, but I can't see a 3-goal swing. Maybe a consolation goal at best. No, we can't even get the ball forward. We've been robbed. The other teams are looking a lot stronger than us at the end of the season, and that is the 3rd. And our right back is now pulling a 5.9. Fullbacks we are in desperate need of. Doesn't look like we're getting them in the next intake. So this means that we stay level on points with Hod. They've got 2 games in hand now. That is our season over. That is a water bottle thrown. And I think we need to go away. We need to recharge some of these players' batteries. We need to lick some wounds and we need to have a rethink because that is a disappointing end to the season. We, since the split, have been truly woeful. The form is poor. We've got 1 game left to go at home against Moss, but they are a very good team as well. I think the next time we see you, it's going to be the first game of next season where we'll have had that youth intake through. And we are desperately crossing our fingers that there is something in there that might galvanise this tired and ageing squad. Because it looks like at the moment we are not going to become a Sub-Zero hero.